I was blind, but now I see. Eggshell recipe. The rhythmic crack of an egg against a bowl, the satisfying separation of its contents, and then the almost instinctive gesture, the discarded shell tumbling into the waste bin. This mundane ritual, replicated countless times each day in kitchens around the globe, symbolizes a peculiar form of human blindness. It is the failure to perceive value beyond immediate utility, the unconscious dismissal of what appears to be a mere byproduct destined for landfill. For generations, eggshells have been viewed as nothing more than refuse, a necessary consequence of enjoying the nutrient-rich albumin and yolk within. This ingrained habit of disposal reflects a broader societal tendency to overlook the inherent potential in materials deemed waste, to remain oblivious to the intricate web of resources that sustain us. Our focus is often narrow, fixed on the primary product, while the secondary components, though equally rich in their own way, are relegated to the realm of the superfluous. This narrative, however, is about a profound awakening, a journey from that unwitting ignorance to a clear, comprehensive understanding of an often discarded treasure. It is about transforming a discarded casing into a source of vitality, about unlocking the secrets hidden within a seemingly humble object. The turning point, the moment of clarity that pierced through this long-standing blindness, arrived not with a sudden flash of divine insight, but through a gradual accumulation of questions and observations. It began with an evolving awareness of sustainability, a growing discomfort with the sheer volume of waste generated by daily living. What if nature, in its infinite wisdom, rarely produced true waste? What if every component had a purpose, a role to play in an unbroken cycle? This philosophical seed, once planted, began to sprout, leading to an examination of the most common discards. And there, sitting innocently in the compost bin, or the trash, or the eggshells, fragile yet enduring, stark white against the organic debris, the realization dawned that these weren't just inert fragments. They were masterpieces of natural engineering, meticulously constructed to protect life, and rich in the very building blocks of life itself. A quick delve into available knowledge, perhaps through ancient traditions, modern scientific studies, or simply curious experimentation, revealed what had been overlooked. Eggshells are an extraordinary repository of essential minerals, predominantly calcium carbonate, but also a complex matrix of other vital trace elements. This discovery wasn't merely a factual revelation, it was a shift in perception, a profound seeing of value where only void had been perceived before. The eggshell was no longer waste. It was a raw material, a potent resource waiting to be respectfully harnessed. To truly appreciate the value that was so long overlooked, one must understand the intricate anatomy of an eggshell. Far from being a simple, uniform casing, it is a complex, multi-layered structure composed of approximately 95% calcium carbonate by weight. This is the same compound found in limestone, marble, and coral, making it an exceptionally dense source of elemental calcium. Beyond its primary constituent, however, eggshells also contain an array of other vital minerals that contribute to their efficacy and nutritional profile. Magnesium, phosphorus, potassium, sodium, iron, zinc, copper, manganese, and fluorine, among others. These trace elements, often found in precise, naturally occurring ratios, are crucial cofactors in countless biological processes, enhancing the bioavailability and utility of the calcium itself. Furthermore, nestled between the shell and the albumin lies the eggshell membrane, a thin, fibrous layer often discarded along with the shell. This membrane is itself a biochemical marvel, rich in proteins such as collagen, elastin, and specialized glycosaminoglycans like chondroitin sulfate, glucosamine, and hyaluronic acid. These compounds are extensively studied and prized for their roles in joint health, skin elasticity, and connective tissue repair. Thus, what appeared to be a monolithic piece of refuse is, in fact, a miniature biochemical treasure chest, meticulously designed by nature and offering a spectrum of benefits that far exceed its initial, superficial impression. The sheer bioavailability of eggshell calcium, meaning how readily the body or soil can absorb and utilize it, is also a critical factor. Research suggests that the calcium from finely ground eggshells is absorbed as effectively as, if not superior to, purified calcium carbonate supplements, with the added advantage advantage of its natural mineral accompaniment. This intricate composition underscores the extent of our former blindness, dismissing such a rich and readily available resource as mere trash. The true manifestation of this newfound seeing lies in the practical application, in the deliberate crafting of an eggshell recipe that transforms these discarded fragments into invaluable assets. This process, while simple, requires attention and care, turning a waste stream into a sustainable resource. The initial step is always collection and thorough cleaning. As eggs are used, the shells are collected, ensuring that any residual albumin rinsed away under cold, running water. This step is critical to prevent spoilage, bacterial growth, and off odors. The sheer volume of shells needed for sustained use quickly becomes apparent, encouraging a conscientious approach to collection rather than sporadic gathering. Following cleaning, the shells must be completely dried. This can be achieved by air drying them on a tray for a day or two, or by utilizing residual heat in an oven after baking, setting them on a low temperature. For example, 200 to 250 degrees Fahrenheit or 90 to 120 degrees Celsius for 10 to 15 minutes. Drying not only prevents mold, but also makes the shells brittle and easier to grind. An optional but highly recommended step is sterilization. Baking the cleaned and dried shells at a low temperature, as mentioned for drying, for a slightly longer duration, for example 10 to 15 minutes, effectively eliminates any lingering bacteria such as salmonella, ensuring the safety of the final product, especially if intended for human or animal consumption. This heat treatment also significantly enhances their friability, making the subsequent grinding process more efficient. The most crucial stage of the eggshell recipe is grinding, as the fineness of the powder directly impacts its bioavailability and versatility. For human and animal consumption, a powder as fine as flour is ideal, maximizing the surface area for absorption. While a traditional mortar and pestle can be used, it is labor-intensive and typically yields a coarser powder. For optimal results, a dedicated electric coffee grinder is highly recommended, as it efficiently pulverizes the brittle shells into a superfine powder. Blenders or food processors can also work, but often require a larger volume of shells and may not achieve the same level of fineness without prolonged processing and potentially stressing the appliance. The objective is to create a soft, uniform powder devoid of any sharp edges or large fragments, which can then be stored in an airtight container for long-term use. This meticulously prepared powder is the cornerstone of all the subsequent beneficial applications, a testament to the transformative power of understanding and respectful processing. The true value of this eggshell recipe unfurls across a diverse spectrum of applications, each revealing a previously unseen benefit. 1. Human health, a natural calcium supplement. Our bodies require calcium for an astonishing array of functions, building and maintaining strong bones and teeth, supporting nerve transmission, muscle contraction, and blood clotting. Yet, calcium deficiency is a widespread issue, contributing to conditions like osteoporosis, particularly as we age. While commercial calcium supplements are readily available, they often come with a cost and can sometimes contain synthetic forms or additives. Eggshell powder offers a natural, cost-effective, and highly bioavailable alternative. Derived from an entirely natural source, it provides calcium carbonate alongside its inherent trace minerals, which can enhance absorption and utilization within the body, a holistic benefit often lacking in isolated synthetic supplements. To incorporate this natural supplement into one's diet, a small amount, typically half a teaspoon, which provides approximately 400 to 500 milligrams of elemental calcium, can be easily mixed into various foods and beverages. Its neutral taste makes it blend seamlessly into smoothies, yogurt, oatmeal, soups, sauces, or even baked goods. This allows for a gentle, consistent intake of calcium without the need for pills, integrating directly into daily nutritional habits. While eggshell powder is a remarkable natural supplement, it is prudent to consult with a healthcare professional, especially for individuals with pre-existing conditions like kidney stones or hypercalcemia, to ensure appropriate dosage and suitability. Beyond the powdered shell, the delicate eggshell membrane holds its own distinct health benefits. Rich in collagen, elastin, glucosamine, chondroitin sulfate, and hyaluronic acid, this membrane can be carefully separated from the shell, dried, and then either powdered or used in larger pieces. These compounds are crucial for joint health, supporting cartilage integrity, reducing inflammation, and promoting overall mobility. The ability to utilize both the shell and its membrane means that virtually every component of the egg, save for its protective outer cuticle, can be transformed from discarded waste into a potent source of wellness. This holistic approach to health, drawing from nature's simple offerings, is a profound aspect of seeing anew. 2. Gardening, enriching the soil and protecting plants. For gardeners, eggshells are nothing short of a miracle. Calcium is a vital macronutrient for plants, playing a critical role in cell wall formation, nutrient transport, and overall structural integrity. A lack of calcium can lead to a host of problems, notoriously blossom end rot in fruits like tomatoes, peppers, and squash, where the developing fruit suffers from a dark, sunken decay at its base. Incorporating finely ground eggshell powder into garden soil, either by tilling it in directly, adding it to planting holes, or mixing it into potting mixes, provides a slow-release source of calcium that strengthens plants from the root up. The slow decomposition of the shells ensures a steady supply of this essential mineral over time, preventing deficiencies. Beyond direct nutrient provision, eggshells can also act as a soil amendment, particularly in highly acidic soils, gradually helping to neutralize pH over time, though its action is slower and less dramatic than agricultural lime. When coarsely crushed, not powdered, the sharp edges of the shell fragments act as an effective physical barrier and deterrent against soft-bodied pests like slugs and snails. Sprinkled in a protective ring around vulnerable seedlings and young plants, the rough texture makes it difficult and undesirable for these pests to cross. Furthermore, adding eggshells to a compost pile introduces a rich source of calcium and other minerals, enriching the final compost with valuable nutrients. While they decompose slowly, the grinding process speeds this up, and their mineral contribution helps feed the microbial life that drives the composting process. For seed starting, a small amount of powdered eggshell mixed into the seed starting medium can provide nascent seedlings with an early boost of calcium, supporting strong initial growth. The garden, a place of cultivation and growth, truly embodies the cyclical nature of this eggshell recipe, returning essential nutrients to the very earth that nourishes us. 3. Pet health, supplements for our animal companions. The benefits of eggshells extend beyond humans and plants to our beloved animal companions, offering a natural and accessible way to bolster their health. For dog owners, especially those who feed a raw or home-prepared diet, eggshell powder can be an excellent natural calcium supplement. Dogs require calcium for strong bones, healthy teeth, proper nerve function, and blood coagulation. While bone meal is often used, finely ground eggshell powder provides a clean, easily digestible source of calcium carbonate without the higher phosphorus content often found in bone, helping to balance the calcium-phosphorus ratio in their diet. It is crucial, however, to consult a veterinarian to determine appropriate dosages based on the dog's size, age, and dietary needs. For backyard chicken keepers, eggshells present a unique full-circle opportunity. Laying hens require substantial amounts of calcium to produce strong, healthy eggshells themselves. Offering them clean, baked, and coarsely crushed eggshells, not powdered as they prefer larger grit, as a free choice supplement allows them to self-regulate their calcium intake. It's important to bake and crush the shells thoroughly and not offer them their own raw shells, as this can inadvertently teach them to eat their own eggs. The texture and mineral content are instinctively recognized by the hens as a beneficial supplement. Smaller animals, such as pet birds and reptiles, also have specific calcium requirements, and small, appropriate amounts of finely ground eggshell powder can be safely incorporated into their diets under veterinary guidance, ensuring their skeletal and physiological health. The principle remains consistent. What was once overlooked waste becomes a vital nutrient, supporting the well-being of all creatures under our care. 4. Household uses, cleaning, and more. The versatility of eggshells isn't limited to ingestion or cultivation. They also find practical applications within the household, demonstrating their multifaceted utility. Finely powdered eggshells, when mixed with a small amount of liquid soap or vinegar, create a remarkably effective, non-toxic abrasive cleaner. The microscopic sharpness of the calcium carbonate particles allows for gentle yet powerful scrubbing action, ideal for tackling stubborn grime, baked on food in pots and pans, or hard water stains on sinks and fixtures, all without scratching delicate surfaces. This natural alternative reduces reliance on harsher chemical cleaners, promoting a healthier home environment. While not a substitute for professional plumbing solutions, coarsely ground eggshells can also act as a mild drain cleaner or freshener. When flushed down a drain with water, their abrasive quality can help to gently scour the inner surfaces of pipes, reducing grease buildup and odors over time, though this is a gradual and supplementary method rather than an instant fix. Beyond utility, eggshells can be transformed into artistic mediums. Their natural curvature and texture make them excellent for mosaic art, creating intricate patterns and surfaces. Ground into various degrees of coarseness, they can be mixed into paints to add texture and body, creating unique finishes on canvases or decorative items. An age-old traditional use, surprisingly effective, is adding a small amount of crushed eggshell to coffee grounds before brewing. The calcium in the shells helps to neutralize some of the acid in the coffee, resulting in a smoother, less bitter brew, and can even aid in clarifying the coffee, yielding a cleaner cup. Each of these household applications further cements the understanding that the eggshell, once discarded without a thought, holds intrinsic value far beyond its initial protective role, contributing to cleanliness, creativity, and culinary refinement. Beyond the myriad practical applications, the true profoundness of the eggshell recipe lies in the philosophical shift it embodies. It represents a tangible step towards a more sustainable and resourceful way of living, a micro-example of the circular economy in action. Rather than simply consuming and discarding, it teaches us to pause, to consider, and to extract maximum utility from everything that passes through our hands. This practice fosters a deeper connection to natural cycles, reminding us that value is not always immediately apparent and can often be found in the most unassuming places. It cultivates an ethic of self-sufficiency, reducing our reliance on commercially produced goods and encouraging a hands-on approach to our health and environment. Each act of collecting, cleaning, and grinding an eggshell is a small, deliberate choice, a conscious act of mindfulness that counters the pervasive culture of disposability. It transforms a perceived waste product into a valuable resource, inspiring similar critical thinking about other trash items. If such simple discards hold so much potential, what else are we blindly overlooking? This question, catalyzed by the humble eggshell, can ripple through various aspects of our lives, prompting us to reconsider our consumption patterns, our relationship with nature, and our capacity for innovation and resourcefulness. It is an invitation to engage more deeply with the world around us, to find the hidden treasures that lie beneath the surface of the mundane, and to participate actively in a more regenerative way of living. However, embracing this resourceful path isn't without its nuanced considerations, and acknowledging these helps overcome any lingering blind spots. The primary challenge often cited is the time and effort involved in processing eggshells. Indeed, collection, cleaning, drying, and particularly grinding require a commitment of time and energy. Yet, this can be reframed, not as a chore, but as an investment in personal health, in environmental sustainability, and in the educational value of understanding natural cycles. It's a deliberate, mindful act rather than a passive consumption. Another hurdle can be societal norms. The idea of collecting and processing eggshells might initially strike some as peculiar or even eccentric. This perception stems from the ingrained habit of disposal, but as awareness of sustainability grows, such practices are increasingly seen as enlightened and responsible. Furthermore, maintaining safety and quality is paramount. Emphasizing proper cleaning and sterilization of the shells is crucial to avoid any potential contamination, especially when the powder is intended for ingestion. The source of the eggs themselves also plays a role. While all eggshells contain calcium, those from organically raised or pasture-fed hens might offer a slightly richer spectrum of trace minerals, reflecting the hens' healthier diets. These considerations, rather than being deterrents, refine the eggshell recipe, transforming it into a practice that is not only beneficial, but also thoughtfully executed, ensuring its integrity and efficacy. The journey from "I was blind" to "now I see" is profoundly transformative, epitomized by the simple, humble eggshell. It marks a fundamental shift from a state of unconscious wastefulness to one of conscious resourcefulness. No longer merely a discarded fragment, the eggshell emerges as a symbol, a testament to overlooked potential, to the inherent value in every part of creation, and to the profound impact of adopting a more discerning and engaged perspective. This unassuming eggshell recipe, born from curiosity and a desire for sustainability, unlocks a world of benefits for health, garden, pets, and home. It reminds us that often the most remarkable treasures are not hidden in exotic, distant lands, but are instead nestled in plain sight, waiting for us to truly open our eyes and recognize their worth. The transformation is not just about using eggshells. It's about seeing the world differently, embracing a more circular, mindful, and enriching way of life, one shell at a time. This rediscovery, this profound clarity of vision, empowers us to participate more actively in the cycles of nature, fostering a deeper connection to our environment and nurturing a pervasive sense of gratitude for the simple, often discarded gifts that surround us. The initial blindness was a mere lack of information, but the newfound sight is a comprehensive wisdom, integrating practical knowledge with an overarching philosophy of sustainable living.